Hello Varlets. It appears Fatshark has dropped the breakdown video for the Traitor's Curse Part 2 ahead of the content drop. This is a first if I recall correctly, and so in this video, we're going to go over the things shown in the breakdown. If you haven't already watched it for yourself, I highly recommend you do so simply because of the closed captions. I also want to take this opportunity to inform all of you that come next week on the 6th, I will be away on holiday for a while, and very likely won't be around to cover the patch notes as it comes out like I normally do. I return on the 10th and will be back to video production on the 11th. So let's begin the breakdown. Starting with the weapon marks we're getting in the next update, from the trailer it appears that we'll be receiving 7 new weapons. We'll be getting a chainsword, a combat blade, a latrine shovel for the ogrins, a revolver, a sapper shovel for the vets, a chain axe, and a las pistol. While the breakdown doesn't feature all of the weapons in action, it does show how a couple of them function already. The most notable one is the revolver. From the last update, we know that this revolver is going to be the Warhammer40k quick draw revolver with a special fanning technique. In the breakdown, we get a glimpse of the fire rate of the revolver, and I'm thankful that it is actually quite fast firing, as fanning the hammer should be expected to do so. Looking at how the revolver fires, it appears that hip firing will be how you fan the hammer. The revolver also contains 5 rounds in the chamber and has a speed loader, allowing us to reload the entire chamber in one go. Destiny 2 fans, we now have the last word in Darktide. The other weapon we get a glimpse of in action is the foldable shovel the Ogrin is using. We don't have a lot of footage on it, but from what little we have, we can make an educated guess about how it works. In the video, the Ogrin takes a couple of horizontal swings, then smacks the shovel head down, turning it into sort of a pickaxe before charging up an overhead heavy attack. This tells me that the shovel's special activation is probably the ability to fold the shovel head, likely giving you more weak spot and armor penetration damage as you would imagine a pickaxe does. It's likely that after your next successful attack, the shovel head will fall back to its normal state. On the other hand, it could also be that activating the special just fixes the shovel head like that, letting you use it as a single target headshot weapon until you switch it back, but in exchange, it can no longer deal with crowds effectively anymore. We also get the chainsword in action, but other than a shredding overhead, we can't really infer much else from the video. As for the chain axe, while we don't get much footage if at all, there was a data mine over 6 months ago that uncovered this particular chain axe in the files. And the interesting thing about it is that instead of the shredder stat, it has the finesse stat. This could mean that this variant will be more geared towards being used as a regular melee weapon rather than using its special attack. As for the other weapons, we have seen the models in the files, but otherwise don't know how they work. In fact, between the data mine and this breakdown video, the weapon marks themselves have changed. The revolver we see here is the Agrippina Mark 14, but this model was previously the Acatran Mark 7 in the data mine files. Speaking of which, this is probably me reading too much into it, but I did a blessing overhaul video sometime back for all weapons. In that video, I did mention that the revolver ideas were my favorite, and one of the blessing ideas was fan the hammer. So, fan the hammer blessing from Ryken 14, and now we have a Agrippina 14 revolver that fans the hammer. Probably just a coincidence and nothing more. Now, let's move on to the other things we can see from the video. I won't go too much into the mission space because there are no words I can use to properly describe or do justice to how awesome the map probably is going to be, so we'll just need to play it to feel it. But, judging by how we need to disrupt production of the stims, this might be a disruption mission, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was. We need more espionage and repair missions, Fatshark. Anyway, let's talk about the Karnak twins next. In the video, we catch a glimpse of the twins in action. They appear to be more agile maulers, but have the moves from the assassination bosses, wielding what appears to be a power sword and a plasma gun, which, funnily enough, is also the meta choice for veterans right now. What isn't shown is if the twins appear together or not. We only see them being fought one at a time, but I sure hope they come in pairs. Can't have twins and not come in pairs. Finally, we see what the stim packs are going to look like. Comparing the item inside the pouch against the design of the syringe thing we saw in the update table, we know that each pack contains a single stim. There were initial thoughts that the stims might come in cases, so it could be a team support deployable like the ammo crate, but now we know for sure it's going to be a one-time use consumable for the player using it. I do wonder if we will have the ability to give stims to other players in the same way we could with potions in Vermintide 2. That would be really helpful and have some tactical possibilities around it. Alright, that's it for this video. This was totally unplanned, literally just woke up and saw that Fatshark had posted a breakdown video and got to work. Again, I will be away from the 6th to the 10th, so if the patch notes or the patch drops during that time, I won't be around to cover it for myself, unfortunately. I will be back on the 11th, and in my absence, I may have a video or two scheduled to keep you guys entertained. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Varlets.